got to be mindful enough to be like, I know, this is my marriage.
Thomas said it best when he said habit stack. We got to habit stack because sometimes, so often in life, we fail to grow because we fail to habit stack. We learn one thing, then we forget it. And then we got to learn something else. In order to grow, growth comes and growth comes when we start habit stacking what we learn. So hopefully you guys can habit stack this and start enhancing your relationship.
Yeah.
We do got to be mindful that and an empathetic state to realize that don't get offensive.
Yeah.
We can't get all in our feelings. Anytime we leave with the feelings, you say something, somebody else say something, then we start the feelings getting away, then the conversation's out of whack and we can't get nothing done.
Right.
We in gridlock.
Right.
We in conflict.
Yeah. And also just being one way, like perceiving in one way, like.
And the perception need to be in the us. We a team. So where your partner says something or not, either way, let's take responsibility. If it's responsibility needs to be taken, then let's move on. Get back to the loving relationship.
Right.
But when our perception is wrong and we're not in a mindful state, then it's hard to get right back to that relationship. Because like I said, they say we show up in two ways. We showing up as an adult us, or we showing up as a child version of us.
Right. If maybe he is or she is being negative.
Yeah.
That don't mean our perception have to be like negative right with them. We can think like, what's wrong with me? Like,
and you got to think, because sometimes your partner complain, you ain't even thought that you actually
like, what did I actually do?
Sometimes you don't even want. Sometimes you got to worry. Yeah. At least think about it. Maybe you did do it. Don't. But see, we so ready to react off of impulse and unmindfulness that we don't even think about that. We so ready to act, and that brings us to number 3, which is emotional regulation. When we're mindful and our perception is right, then we're able to emotionally regulate
our emotions. Allowing us to respond calmly and thoughtfully rather than just saying things that we don't mean. Saying things that we can't take back.
Doing disagreements with the time when it's needed the most. Like I said, this mindful perception it's needed the most in conflicts
situation.
When you're in a conflict with your partner. That's what we need to be mindful, because we can say things and blow the whole. We can either escalate the situation or de-escalate the situation, and that depends on what state we're coming from. We come from mindful relational state, or we come from an unmindful individual state. Because you can be powerful or you can be connected, but you cannot be both in a relationship. Anytime you step up in your power, which means you want to stand your ground, you want to be heard, or you try to win the argument, then you lose a connection.
Right.
And you can't do both.
Right.
You got to choose. That's what I'm saying. We're in an argument apart. We got to choose whether we want to be connected or we want to be power. You want to get your point across. And every time you do that, you breaking that gap. The gap of connection. It's like you cutting off the electricity. And this is love. So love you can't keep cutting off the electricity. We got food in there. It's no spoil.
Right.
We got to understand that.
Yeah. I think in a relationship, we say certain things like, man, I wish you would just leave. I wish the person wouldn't perceive it so much as like, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting my bags. They want me to leave. Because it might just be that spouse that said, I wish they just need to calm down, but they not, saying it right.
Yeah.
And you are perceiving it
like I'm just gonna leave.
Like I'm just gonna leave. Oh, she want me to leave, or he want me to leave. I'm gonna get my stuff and I'm out of here.
And those are the worst. Those are the worst relationships, because when you're in a conflict, you cannot leave.
Yeah.
You can go take a break.
Yeah.
Only to come back, but you can't you going hours and things. If it's like certain things, y'all heated. I mean, somebody cheating or different stuff with a woman and stuff, but most arguments are not nothing that needs to be a whole, you leaving for a day or you leaving for 3-4 hours and stuff to take a break. That means you're not able to emotionally regulate. Right. You're not mindful. You're coming at a childish state in a relationship.
Yeah.
And we talked about, that was one of the videos we talked about before. You come to an immature state in a relationship. Immature people cannot handle conflict.
Yeah.
Mature people they able to talk and coming with the right perspective, handle the conflict, and then get back to the loving relationship.
Right.
And that's what that's what you got to be able to do if you want your relationship to last. You got to be able to handle the conflict and then get back to the loving state.
Right. Because if you're not handling the conflict, and you leaving for, say, your wife said she wish you just leave. You get your stuff, you leave for 3 days. Oh, now her perception off.
Yeah.
Like, where you been?
Yeah.
Like, oh, he cheating every night. She thinking you out there cheating.
Whether or not you was cheating or not, you just messed up you messed up the perception of the relationship. I mean, you know, naturally, our mind gets to wonder.
Right.
People's mind get to wonder. If you can't tame it, that's why we're doing this 30-day mindfulness challenge to give people a chance to tame their mind. Because when the mind starts to wonder, most times it's gonna go in a negative state.
Yeah. You gotta bring it in.
Bring it back. Yeah. Bring it back.
Woosah.
Bring it back. You gotta bring because it back. When we're mindful, mindfulness reduces stress. Mindfulness practice reduces the stress levels, and overall, it makes us more aware and happiness in a more peaceful environment. Right. Because we're not in a reactive state. Number 4 of the 5 ways to enhance your mindful perception is so you focus more on a positive.